and get some of those sent out to you. So do continue entering. We still have keys to give away pretty much all tournament long. But for now, guys, let's get into the game. It is on Daybreak and spawning in the bottom left location from TSL. He's currently 2-0 down against the Foreign Hope. Can he bring it back around? It is Revival, guys. And he's going to be playing against one half of the Spanish Armada, taking out his frustration on this Zerg at the moment because he's unable to take out his brother.
Yep.
It is Caronte Esports Vortix.
Poor guys. It's like, I didn't...
It is true, though,
How
isn't
many
it?
civil wars were there in Spain? Is that like a thing? I can't even remember historically.
Do you know how many civil wars there were in Spain? There were fewer than the number of times we've seen Vortix Lucifron in a major tournament. Okay.
Jeez, those guys.
There
Poor
might be
fellas.
several hundred years of history there, maybe even like a millennium. Whatever, man. These guys go at it hammer and tongs everywhere they go. And this tournament, we saw Lucifron bow out first. So that opportunity never arose.
Oh well, poor guys, poor guys. But for now, Vortix representing Spain, doing pretty well against the Koreans right now. It's exactly as Artosis wrote in one of his write-ups. Either Vortix or Lucifron get taken out by each other, or they get taken out by Code S level Zergs, because that's how good they are, guys. It just works like that. I mean, for now, Revival, we're on Daybreak, so this is normal. Seeing a hatchery first. A lot of people do go hatchery first on this map, a long rush distance, and Vortix for now is just going for that spawning pool, keeping himself in a very, very stable base here. 2 games up, you don't really want to be throwing, you know, caution to the wind.
No, that's right. This is the kind of place where maybe Sting would go to Rax Calaris, but where Vortix is taking it nice and easy, going for pool before hatch. He knows he's in a great position here. He needs to win 1 of the next 3 games. Sure, he could throw in something funky and see if it works and still have 2 chances left, but he doesn't even want to do that. He's going to play nice and stable, and going into the mid-game, he wants to see where Revival is weak or what sort of build he's doing, and try and play reactionary in this game number 3.
And as we've said many times during the other casts that we've had during the few days, is that Daybreak is one of those maps that brings out the most stereotypical of standards in almost every single matchup. And it's no different here for ZVZ. The way in which ZVZ works on Daybreak, mostly, you will literally see this 90% of the time, is third base is being denied, third base is being taken in order to try and deal with, you know, just limiting your opponent, constricting them in such a in such a very, very brutal style.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You want to be able to play that sort of boa constrictor style, where it's really so frustrating because once you get a little foothold in a ZVZ, and more importantly, you realize it's there, you start constantly trading and whittling away your opponent to a point where, well, look, my advantage is technically small in terms of supply, but a 10 supply difference at 40 is a lot bigger than a 10 supply difference at 180. And that's basically why we see people trading like that when they're up, and it's so difficult to get back from such a position.
And meanwhile, we have just speed on the way for both players at almost exactly the same time. So despite the different openings, gases and spawning pools time out quite nicely. So, I mean, the trade-off between 15 pool and 15 hatch in ZVZ is relatively negligible, actually. It's strange how it works out, because if you get your spawning pool first, then you get the queen first. And if you get the hatchery first, then you have a few lava down there as well. I guess an injection's 4, right? And then if you get the hatchery, it's 3. So technically, if you look at it like this, maybe the pool with queen injection before, you get like 1 extra lava. It's so weird and it's so out of the way, but I mean, I would love to see full math actually done.
Well, it's tricky as well, because once you go hatch first, when you eventually get your spawning pool, you'll pop 2 queens at once as well.
Yeah.
So it's you kind of have to start going towards the 4 or 5 minute mark before you can really have all the maths add up. But we've seen a lot of like really good stuff analyzing things like that on Team Liquid. So
yeah,
maybe
they do.
Yeah, maybe there'll be something we could fish out. It'd be very interesting to know.
All right, Roach Warren is down here for Vortix. He's getting 3 extra overall Lords, actually. He could actually, I think what we're going to see is here, maybe he's going to finish up speed. He might actually chug out around 7 to 9 Roaches, push across the map whilst taking his 3rd. That's what we've seen from him previously. That's what he did against Ninja. He's wanting to kill these Zerglings and then make that kind of play happen. There goes down the 3rd. There we have the Roaches now in production as well. Leia is morphing in for Revival, and I read ZVZ all right. it's my matchup, man.
All right. Well, what we're going to do, Calaris, next 8 minutes, go.
Oh, God.
No. So we have got those roaches now popping out for Vortix. Revival putting a spine crawler down at his natural and starting to spread his creep a little bit once to make sure he knows exactly what is coming before it gets there. So nice to have a little bit of map vision there. +1 Carapace nearly complete for him as well. So he is in a very defensive mindset. That +1 Carapace upgrade as well, applying, of course, to both roaches and lings. So just keeping his strategy here in this game a little bit more flexible in case he needs to react to something as he goes for his third as well.
I'm under the impression that the roaches that we're seeing here is just to, try and deny the third. That's basically the mindset that we're seeing here from Vortix, along with the lings on the way as well, putting on the pressure there to try and deal with that. The thing is, though, he's going to be slightly behind in terms of the layer timing, which is a bit annoying for him. So Revival, if he stabilizes behind this aggression... Oh, actually, he's going to go to the natural. Wow.
These lings at the third of Vortix actually could be problematic because Vortix is not currently sending anything over there. He's sending 4 lings over there. That is not going to be enough to clean this up right now.
Oh.
And, or is it? Revival actually moving back, and we actually have a direct attack into the natural expansion from Vortix. He does not care about taking down a third. He wants to finish this game against Revival right here, right now. And the first spine crawler goes down. The second and third aren't even up yet, and all of the drones are being pulled. I think this might just be an inspired move from Vortix. So many workers going down here. And oh my goodness, I think he could do it.
If he can retain the roaches and just let all the lings tank the damage and kill off the drones, he's going to be in an amazing position. That one spine crawler needs to stay alive, but he does not. The roaches bring it down, and the drones are off the line to try and deal with this once again. They might get pinned up against this wall, but still, a lot of drones are being killed off. Technically, Vortix has evened up the odds to the point where he could go back home and still play economically, but he could actually just kill him here with all of these ling reinforcements.
Oh, and these reinforcements are going to be able to potentially surround the queens as well. The roaches are just doing too much damage in the back. Revival unable to deal with him. Vortix's third hatchery also survived, and Vortix is on fire here. He is about to 3-0 Revival.
Seems so, man. Those lings in the main. His hatchery now just producing a queen.
GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, it seems that Caronte's Vortix decided to just man mode it.
And that was such a cool decision. You mentioned those roaches were probably going towards the third, and then Vortix went, well, actually, you're right, but I could also just test his front door. And a lot of the lings from Revival were committed to trying to harass the third base of Vortix, and there was nothing there, and then the roaches came down the front door. Let's talk about those last few moments, because that was huge.
Well, I take back what I say. I take back what I say in terms of him going for the third. It's not because it just happened or anything like that. It's because of the influx of Zerglings that were following up the roaches, right? As soon as you actually see that kind of thing, I just didn't get time to say it, basically. But as soon as you see that many lings following up that roach, it's more than just trying to deny a third, right? It's those lings going in there, supporting those roaches, tanking what they can, killing off a ton of drones, trying to just end the game there and then. Because if he doesn't do the damage, if he doesn't do crippling damage or kill his opponent outright, he's down by like 15 to 20 drones. That's a horrible, horrible situation to come back from. And he's also down the layer as well. That's bad.
And potentially down the third base, although he did manage to hold that off quite well towards the end there. So yeah, I mean, the lings didn't actually come until about halfway through that battle. We saw the roaches there taking out the first spike, which I think was huge because the second and third spot, all of a sudden, Revival just need to start pumping out lings like there was no tomorrow to make sure that the spine crawlers could hold against the roaches, but he wasn't anticipating the ling follow-up that Vortix was sending with it as well.